Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat and today I am doing my March TBR. So March is Women's History Month. For this month I'm reading books only written by women which have female main characters. There are also 2 readathons happening in the month. So first I'm going to talk about the books that are not for the readathons, that are just for me to spread out around the month. The first one that just came into the library and I'm like so freaking pumped about it. This is Pain and Prejudice by Gabrielle Jackson. I have heard great things about this from a lot of the UK booktubers, and this is, it says, a call to arms for women and their bodies. It talks about how the medical industry and the medical profession treats women's bodies differently. One of the examples is, everyone knows the signs for stroke, but did you know that what you know is only for men? Like, women present differently when they have a stroke than men, yet everyone knows the one for men. Like, how unfair. Also, like, pain thresholds are different, and so when different medicines are prescribed or tested, it's to the male standard, not for both genders. So, issues. So I'm really looking forward to this and educating myself some more. I've heard great things about it, and then when I went to see if the library had it, they did, and I was just so pumped about it. So this one is probably going to be, honestly, the first one that I pick up in the month of March. So the next one that I want to pick up before the readathons hit is Not About the Burqa, edited by Mariam. And I believe that this is 17 essays or short stories by Muslim women speaking frankly about the hijab and wavering faith, love, divorce, feminism, queer identity, sex, and then disapproving communities and also racist countries. So I personally would prefer to read about this from people whose point of view is the lived experience. So I'm really looking forward to educating myself in this regard and seeing what kind of things people are thinking, because I frankly have no idea what someone who, you know, wears a hijab goes through. I don't know. So I could only imagine. So I'm really looking forward to this and reading through some of the essays. I already did read one of them because it's a writer that I really highly regard. So I just wanted to read it, and so I kind of cheated. I already read one of the 17, but I'm really looking forward to getting to this. Okay, and then also in March, because it's Women's History Month, I have 2 very intimidating books that are kind of different but the same. They're different because they're on completely different topics, but they're kind of the same because they're massive and I'm feeling a lot of trepidation. So the first is Romantic Outlaws, The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley. I've had this for a very long, shameful long time. I had this in Japan, shipped it, even though it's huge, to Australia, and then we've lived here now for over 1.5 years and haven't read it, so I really should, really should. It's just so long and I'm so intimidated. And the other one is Women Who Run with Wolves, Myth and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype. The wild woman archetype, like women in nature battling the elements, like woman versus man versus nature. Like, I just love that. A lot of the books that I really love are women in the wilderness, and my aunt got me this collection of myths and essays and discussions. And again, it's really hefty and it's really dense, and yeah, so I'll be reading one of these probably, or dipping back and forth between probably, hopefully. So yeah, these are also on my list, and if you guys have read either one, please let me know what you thought, because I really want to read both of them, honestly, truly. It's just they're so long and I'm so scared. So the first readathon is the Femme FanTale Readathon, hosted by Jean Bookish Thoughts. And I just love the idea. So it's fantasy written by women. So there are many challenges, and I have found 3 books which fit almost all of the challenges. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk you through the books and the challenges that they complete. So the first book that I'm going to try and read for the Femme FanTale Readathon is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This is a retelling of the Iliad through the eyes of the women. And this is shelved as historical fantasy. I'm sure that there are going to be gods and goddesses in here, of course, of the Greek persuasion. And I think it's really powerful to retell very well-known stories from a different point of view. You know, non-binary or female, just, you know, not the male gaze ideally. So I'm really looking forward to this, and this one checks off standalone, new to you author, and a historical setting, as well as an adult novel. The other one I'm going to read is The Girl in Red by Christina Henry. This is a horror retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, and I will be reading this with Jordaline from Jordaline Reads. We read Lost Boy, which was about Peter Pan, and we're hoping for some more, you know, dark content. And this one is for retelling. This is also for a woman with a weapon, and it is also for a standalone and an adult novel. So this one checks off a lot of the boxes. Basically, things have been wiped out, and Red, I believe, carries an axe with her through the woods. So I'm expecting a very, very dark retelling. And I don't know what the fantastical elements are, but the second shelf it's on Goodreads after horror is fantasy. So I'm assuming that there are some fantastical elements here, and I can't wait to get into it. So the third and final book I'm going to read for Femme FanTale Readathon is Daring the Devil by Natasha Larry. So this one is about a princess whose mom is basically the queen of hell, and she is a demon herself, and she decides that she doesn't want to do what her mom wants her to do, so her mom banishes her to the human world. This isn't exactly my cup of tea, but the reason I'm reading it is because it has trick rep, which is the mental health disorder that I have. Daring the Devil takes off... Oh, I forgot to mention that Girl in Red checks off also queer. It's shelved as queer on Goodreads. Okay, so Daring the Devil checks off new to you author, BME author, a book in a series, non-human main character, and YA. So it does also have a lot of checks, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hesitant, I'm nervous. I've never heard anyone talk about it on BookTube. Yeah, so I have a lot of trepidation, but for the sake of my mental health community, I want to read it and let people know if it's good rep or bad rep. So, yeah. So the second readathon is from March 19th to the 29th, and it's hosted by Ali at Hardback Hoarder. And this just sounds so fun. It's called Spring into Readathon, and I have 4 general books that I'm looking to get to for all of the challenges. So the first challenge is to read a book that's intimidating or an old TBR, like one of the oldest ones on your TBR, and for that I'm going to go ahead and try to finish up one of these, which I will have started at the beginning of the month. Like I said, they're so hefty and so dense. This one is so long, this one is so dense. So I'm hoping that by the time that I get to that readathon, I will be in the final home stretch of one of these. So that's what I'm going to use for that challenge. The next 3 books each tick off 2 challenges. So the next 2 challenges are Vacation or Travel and Romance. And for this one, I'm going to read A Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics. So we are following 2 female main characters. So Lucy just watched the love of her life, like her ex-lover, get married, and she's crushed when she receives a missive, a letter, from a countess, I believe, in London, asking her to travel there and translate the French astronomy text that she has. So I just think that this sounds so interesting, and I honestly have not read much sapphic romance set in Victorian England, so I'm always here for more of that. So I'm so keen to get to this one, and it does tick off travel and romance. So the next 2 challenges are to read a fairy tale or a fairy tale retelling, and also a strong female main character. So for this one, I have Fierce Fairy Tales and Other Stories to Stir Your Soul by Nikita Gill. Nikita Gill is, I think, currently my favorite poet of all time. One of my favorite poets of all time. I read Your Heart is the Ocean in January, and it was phenomenal, 4.5 stars. So I got this from the library, and I'm so pumped. These are poetic retellings of fairy tales from a female perspective where they are given queer feminist elements, and I can't wait. My body is not ready. I can't wait. I'm hoping that I love, love, love this because then that will put Nikita Gill as one of my favorite writers of all time, because it's very rare that I read an author who has more than one work which hits such a high bar. So I'm really, really looking forward to this, and I think it checks obviously the fairy tale retelling of strong female women characters like really well, perfectly. It's also a little short, perfect for a readathon. So the last book that I'm planning to read in March is If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegemund-Broka. So this is the group read for this readathon, and it's also for the challenge pink and yellow on the cover because, I mean, like, duh, it has pink and yellow. So this is following a main character in high school who I believe she's known as like quite a B word, rhymes with witch, and she is trying to win over this guy and prove that she's not like this horrible person, and she has to like go back and apologize to all the people she's wronged so that she can win him over, and in the process she meets someone else. So this is a Taming of the Shrew retelling, I believe, but honestly this is not my cup of tea, so I really don't like it when people use the B word, like ever, so I know it's going to be in there a lot, but it is the group read and it does check off pink and yellow, so I do have it on my Kindle, so I will be attempting to read it, but yeah, if you've read it, like, let me know your thoughts. I'm very hesitant because I also don't usually read books set in high school anymore because I'm almost a 30-year-old lady, so it is just a long time ago. This is my TBR for March. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys are reading for March. Let me know what your favorite books written by women starring strong female main characters are. I can't wait to celebrate Women's History Month and let you guys know how all of the reading goes. I hope that you guys are having an awesome day, and I will chat to you later. Bye-bye!